Well, here we go then. Good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching in the world. This is the Prospects eRacing League. We are here for the Americas Tier 1, Round 3, and we are at the absolutely beautiful, although actually looking a little bit more foggy, Dutch Grand Prix. We've got some top names for you today. We've got 15 currently in the lobby and I believe 2 joining us later. But hopefully some of these drivers will get out on the track and get a strong start. My name's T-Mouse. It's a pleasure to have you alongside me today, and I'm here just by myself. No co-commentator today, so we will see how this goes. Looking back from the results from last week, we've had some interesting ones in there, a few surprising DNFs, but we are just going to play it by ear and see what happens. Let's get everything up so you can see what is going on alongside me as we get our first drivers heading out to track, and I believe the first one out is going to be Seaburton 91. The Dutch Grand Prix is an interesting track, lots of twists and turns to reel you in, and then you hit that massive 18-degree banked turn on that final exit, which has been known to throw the odd driver or two up against the wall. It's got 14 turns, just over 2.6 miles, and from what I see, it takes a lot of skill to get some fast lap times around here. I think every driver heading out so far on the soft tyre. The track temperature looks a little bit cold, so we'll certainly be seeing what goes on today. Unlike last week, I've got the chat stream up, or the stream chat up. So if you want to drop me a comment, go ahead, and I'll see what I can read out on the stream. But here we go then. We've got Seaburton on that back straight. Oh, touching the grass a little bit. I think he was a bit overconfident there. Just as he was coming around, he has invalidated his outlap, but I don't think that's going to bother him as he comes along this long straight start going into actually what is one of the 3 unnamed turns in this track. You've got turns 6, 9 and 13 are all nameless. Fun fact for you there. But here we go, he's got the DRS wide open, he's got the ERS on a hot lap, reaching up to about 196, 197 mile an hour along that back straight into turn 1, which is surprisingly called Tarzan. Oh, a bit squirrely on the rear there as he comes out, but he is doing all right. Seems to be going around turns 2 and 3 quite comfortably there. Through the long right left-hander, which goes up to about 19 degrees in banking now, which is absolutely insane and one of the biggest bankings on an F1 circuit. Coming through that back section, he's obviously gone purple, but obviously he's the first driver to... lost the back end a little bit there, but that might just have been a little bit of lag and a little bit of connection issues on my part. But seems to be going all right through this sector 2. There is a bit of a car park coming out of sector 3, but that is just allowing other drivers space to start their laps. They should all get out of the way by the time these drivers come around for their first timed lap. Who's currently running behind Seaburton then? It is Raphael. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, but he seems to be catching him, so he's going quite well. He's gone purple in sector 2, so his lap time should be interesting, but we're going to jump on board with Seaburton. Villeneuve has retired though, that might be in the pit. No, he's binned it and turns 3 and 4. That is a devastating result there for Villeneuve. He's not going to be happy with that because he probably was looking to get a really decent result out of this. Yeah, like I said, Raphael's gone faster than Seaburton there. And then Optic just absolutely smashes it by nearly a second and a half. Who's caught up? It was Poloski. He has managed to retain his front wing, which will be interesting, but I think he'll definitely be going for a second outlap if you catch. See what I'm heading on. Someone else has been at the exact same place. That's Raphael also out. Turns 2 and 3 seem to catch people out. I think the track temperature's a little cold here. So we'll be seeing some drivers potentially losing it there as Ray comes along that back straight and sets a very respectable time of 1:12.53. Warrens, there we go, with a 1:11.7. Not bad at all by him. I think he'll be happy with that so far. So within the first few minutes of qualifying here, we've had 2 drivers bin it, and I think potentially Ray might have had a bit of a spin there as well. He was going rather slow. Seems to have his front wing all intact though, so absolutely no problems there. Apologies for the breaking audio there. I was just making sure that I hadn't muted the stream like I did last time. But we are up and we are live. Thank you for the few of you that are currently tuning in. It should be interesting. Who have we got on a hot lap here at the moment? We've got Aaron Carey, who did quite alright last week. He is currently standing top of the driver's standings after that result last week in Austria. I think he'll be looking to put a pretty decent lap time in. Swiss Orion's going quite slow. Everyone's kind of backing up here. Don't want to get in the way of Burton, who seems someone's going from the hot lap. Who's that? That is Tintoretto, I think, wanting to go for a hot lap. He's got a purple sector too, so this could be a fairly good lap time as he comes around 13 and 14 onto that back straight. Fuel light on, DRS wide open, and just bombing down that back straight. And he goes fastest with a 1:10.6. That is what they are looking for. I think the drivers here, probably end of Q3, will probably be the very low 110s, if not pushing it for 109s. We've got Sassin, favourite probably to win the championship here, but hasn't been doing too well in the past couple of races. He did, I think, crash out of Austria. Put in a 1:11.3, but I think he's going to go for another lap here. Might have been held up a bit. Just getting that power down nice and gently to ensure that he doesn't spin out that back rear. Optic has retired. He's had enough of Q1, and I think with the 1:10.9, that is going to be more than enough to see him through here. We're going to stick on board with Sassin. There's someone going slowly. I think they're just trying to get themselves set. Yeah, that will be Pulaski. I think he's just either on his way back in or he's trying to get himself set. Go back on board with Sassin, who is about 300s up here. Will be wanting to make some minor gains and probably take P1 from Q1. Not necessarily important, but it is a nice little confidence booster just when you're looking forward to Q3. There we go, he goes across the line with a 1:10.5. No complaints there from him as he goes fastest. I think that's to be expected. It will be, like we said last week, it'll be a fight for position P2. But there could be a whole list of names in there. We are going to be currently losing one driver from Q1 here, though. I think Aaron Carey's going out for a second lap. He probably wasn't happy with the 1:21. I think he might have had a little bit of a spin, so he's going to go out again. Coming through that back sector, let's see how he does as he comes around this very tight and technical section of the track. Not as high a speed as you'd imagine. Oh, he lets the back slide, but he's managed to save it a little bit. Probably won't be the fastest time, but it will definitely be an improvement on what he was on if he can just keep that back rear wing centered and keep the rear wheels firmly spinning the direction he wants to go. There we go, he's 3 seconds up. Probably not what he wants to be, but he'll take it at the moment. Comes around to 13 and 14. Just absolutely speed right on the limit there. He's not going to hopefully invalidate that one. DRS wide open again as he comes along. And he improves up to a 1:11. He obviously had a little bit of a spin in sector 3 last time round he was doing his lap. So that is a 9-second improvement for him there. And I don't think there'll be any complaints. I think Sassin's coming in. Here we go. Got Nanda coming round. Doesn't look like he's going for a hot lap here. He's on his way in, as is the Ferrari behind him, who's got no rear wing. I don't know what's happened there. Maybe the two of them got a little bit caught up. We're going to stick on board with Sinking Ships, who's about to start his lap. Here we go. Up to 196 miles an hour. Heavy on the brakes into Tarzan. Goes around the right-hand side. Keeps it nice and clean right on the exit there. And he's going to be absolutely on the power as he comes out of this long left-hander. As he comes up the hill, power down and just straight down, following the nice curvature of the track. It's an interesting one, this, with the F1 2021 game. It is meant to be a little bit bumpy and a little bit hard to drive, but these drivers are making it look easy. He goes purple in sector 1 there, but that's not necessarily accurate. We'll just wait and see what happens. Takes a nice wide exit there as he comes around. The beautifully white walled rims of the AlphaTauri, they're fully showing, and you cannot beat it. Aaron Carey has retired. think that a lot of drivers retiring, had enough. Hoping that their lap times are enough to see them through. Obviously with only one driver out, it will be not as important to set a good lap time here. You just want to set a lap time. Villeneuve did crash out early, so he probably will be the one driver going out, unless we get another driver joining the session with 7 minutes to go. The sinking ships here did set a lap time. He set a 1:12.4, and by the look of it, not too happy with it, so he might be going again. Beautiful camera angles, I must say, as you're coming through here. He is 2/10 up, and I think that will be important. That might be a purple sector 1, actually. Now that he's set a lap time, those purple sectors are a little more accurate. And it's just whether he can negotiate turn sector 2 and 3 to the same precision here. Comes into that tight right and left hander. You've got to be really careful there, because if you clip the inside sausage curb, you will be sent flying. As you put that power back on around the right handers, using all of the track that you can. And back around to the right hand side, you're going to put that DRS open and come along that home straight. Don't think he improves. He actually goes about a 10th slower, but I don't think he'll complain. He'll be all right with that. Hello to the 6 people that are now watching. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come watch this race with me. It is a pleasure to be commentating for you today. It is just me, but I'm hoping that one will be enough just for you guys. Like I said earlier, we are at the Dutch Grand Prix this weekend, and this is still the Prospects eRacing League for those of you that have just joined us. We're just still on board with sinking ships. He's currently the only driver out. We've got all but 2 retired at the moment. I think everyone's kind of happy with their laps, and they're not going to be going out again. Probably sinking ships on the way into the pits now. I can't see why he'd want to keep going. He's about 2/10 up here, so no need to be going for another lap, wasting the tyres, because I think the Q3 shootout will be a lot tighter than this first one. Comes around that back corner. He's got a fair bit of pace, but he's slowing right down. Here we go, as he goes into the pits. So whilst we've got no drivers out on track, there's a fun little fact. We've got, as I was saying earlier, turn 1 is called Tarzan, and probably the most memorable or most well-known turn on the circuit. It's actually reportedly named after a local character in the city where this circuit is located. And it's named after a local character who was called Tarzan, and he only wanted to give up his vegetable patch or vegetable garden in the dunes if the track designers named a corner after him. I think that's a fun little interesting fact for you guys. Yeah, I think Sinking's going to go in here and retire, and I think everyone will be happy with the results that have gone on. We've got 2 drivers left to retire, Tintoretto and Sinking Ships. Both done about 2 laps on those softs compared to everyone else who's done about 1. David Bauer has gone out on the mediums. I don't know if that's his best. He's done Q1 on the mediums, which is a bit of an interesting strategy. I wonder if he's trying to get through a bit of graining period, hopefully for ready for Q2 there. But we'll see what happens. Just waiting for someone to come back out on the track. There we go, Tintoretto has retired. Now just waiting on Sinking Ships. I'll just run you through our top 5 here of the America's Tier 1 standings. So as it currently stands from 1 to 5, we've got Aaron Carey, Sassin, Optic, David Bauer, and then FR Golfi. They are your current top 5 heading into this week's race. Q1 looking like it's going to come to a very uneventful end here. We've had a couple of crashes. I think notably Swiss Cheese and Villeneuve. And there we go, Sinking Ships is retired, which gives you the preceding top 15, I think, with just Raphael and Villeneuve knocked out there. Both of whom crashed out. So, don't think anyone's going to be too disappointed. Just jump on board with the instance, see if anything's happened. We've had a couple of one exceeding track limits, one speeding the pit lane, but apart from that, the session has been kept fairly clean. Here we go then, into qualifying number 2. Quite famously, people will use the medium tyre here, because that's especially what people want to start on in the race. Normally allows the drivers to go a little bit further than they would be able to on the soft tyre. Looks like kind of a few drivers are opting for the mediums as it stands, but we'll see what happens when people go out. There's Aaron Carey on the mediums, who's going to head out first and try and set a lap time, just watch what he comes. It's a very tight pit lane exit here, so something definitely to keep in mind as you are leaving the pit lane. You don't want to invalidate the lap or notably crash the car, especially as you're coming out the pit lane. Swiss Cheese has retired. I'm not sure if there's a reason for that. Potentially might have a Q2 ban, but we will just double check. Okay, so Swiss Cheese has got a full quali ban. So there's also got a Q3 ban for Ingram. I don't believe he is here this weekend or this week. And we've also got a one for Cameron, also not here this week. So no quali bans to talk about. It is just that full quali ban for Swiss Cheese. And obviously managed to make it through because people have crashed out here. But we're going to stick on board with Aaron Carey. He has got the helmetless glitch that is quite common on this game. Really rather fun to watch, but we'll see what happens. Managed it nice and clean through turns 1 and 2 there. But just there's a lot more in the track. Here we go, into Sector 2. He's got a purple Sector 1 time, but as I said, he's the first driver to head out onto a lap here, so nothing to write home about. Round the long sweeping right-hander here, which is a really fun one to drive, and also incredibly quick if you can manage and have the right setup for it. Along kind of what is typically known as the back straight, DRS is wide open into that tight technical bit, avoiding the sausage curb on your left-hand side and coming back round along up towards turns 13 and 14. Just got to watch yourself. He's got to run a little bit wide there, but he hasn't invalidated his lap. I think he'll be quite happy with this. DRS is going to be wide open and along the back straight. You're aiming probably for the 111s, 112s, and just as I said, got a 111.884. Very respectable lap time on those mediums, and something that he probably won't be too disappointed about. And as he does so, he leaves the session. We have had a spin. QC Alex just taking his Williams for a little drifting session there as he tries to cool down the tyres. Got someone else who's binned it a little bit. Is that was Nando? I think he has completely lost it there. He won't be setting a lap time here in Q2. Not somewhere you'd typically expect drivers to crash on this course, but then again, it's one of those circuits where anything can happen. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2 as well, and Lucifer also taking his Ferrari for a drifting lesson, getting just out the way of C. Burton there. But he is now taking that Ferrari back to the pits with no front wing. Jump on board with who's coming around here. We've got sinking chips on the lap. It looks like Lucifer's kind of binned it again. His rear tyres are just going to be red hot. He's not going to be getting any grip here, and I don't think he's enjoying himself too much. Just taking out the barriers just so no one else can see their braking zones. Is that a tactic or is that just accidental? Someone's coming around that back corner. Here we go. Oh, it's just C. Burton. Ooh, last minute decision to dive into the pits there. I wonder if he didn't have enough fuel for it. Lucifer's run wide. I think he's just trying to get out of the way of the Red Bull behind him, who is on an in-lap, but I think there's another car behind him. That might be Passassin, who's on a bit of an outlap there, revving his engine, trying to get that fuel load as low as he can before he starts a flying lap. Round 14, DRS wide open, up into 8th gear as he goes along. 194 mile an hour, so it looks like he's running a little more downforce than some of the other drivers here. That could help him out as he comes through that technical section, especially kind of Sector 2, and especially that long right-hander of Sector 3, because you don't want to be losing any traction as you're coming through there at a very high speed. Sets of purple Sector 1, nothing less than we expected here. Assassin is probably one of the faster drivers here in America Tier 1, and always fascinating to watch how he does his lap time, taking every single millisecond that he can from a track if he gets it right. Man seems to be planted to the track when he goes around, and I just can't figure out how. Purple Sector 2 as well. Nothing less than expected. This could be a really good lap here. I'm going to expect a high 111s. So that's seeming to what he's aiming for, if not a very low 112. Manages to just keep it on the track there and keeps it planted through 13 and 14. Opens that rear wing up and he's going 192 mile an hour as he crosses the line. 110.9. What a fantastic lap there from Assassin. I think that's beaten anything that I was expecting, and that is the time that people were getting on the soft tyre. But he has somehow pulled that off on the yellow walled medium tyre. Something that is absolutely incredible. We've got Warriors coming round to start his lap as well. But a 110.9, I think Passassin will definitely go back to the pits now, and he won't have to worry about whether he's getting through to Q3 or not, because I think that is a certainty at this point. So here we go, on board with Warriors as well as he comes round that really tight banking left-hander. Quite easy to lose it there. We saw about 2 drivers lose it there, and DNF from Q1. So really important to keep track of your grip and levels there. Apologies for the silence, folks. I had not messed up like last week. I have got a drink with me, but it means I might have to occasionally pause. It is just me commentating. If you've just come aboard, this is still the Prospects eRacing League. We are in Q2, and some fascinating times coming in. Warriors there with a 111.4. Now that is, again, an exceptional lap time. He's gone about 6 tenths quicker, or about 8 tenths quicker than people on the soft tyre there. So I think this is definitely going to be a very good Q2, getting down to those top 10 drivers. We've had 2 crash out already, so maybe only 3 going out, but definitely something to keep an eye on. It's had someone bin it out of turn 14 along the home straight there. If I can find them, that might help. Nope, they've DNF'd. That is the Williams. That might be QC Alex. That is going to be very disappointing for him. But as I said, you've got to keep it planted through turn 14, but you've got to have enough downforce so that your back end does not lose grip with the track. Just Let's see who hasn't set a lap time and who's on one. Got David Bauer going quite quick through Sector 2 there. He is on that soft tyre, so not to be written out, but I think he might be starting on a completely different strategy to some of the guys on the mediums here. Coming through No Name into turn 14, along that rear straight, using all the track on, especially on that left-hand side. Comes across the line into a 1:11.999. Couldn't go any slower, otherwise it'd be in the 112s. Gonna try and stay out of the way people. He might be going again, because he is keeping the pace. Who's behind him is Pawlowski, that's just come out of the pits. Optic coming along, he's on a 1:18.8. He probably won't be happy with that, but he is slowing down. Didn't look like he had his battery turned on for that hot lap, so I wonder if that's something that he forgot to turn on there, or if he's just doing another hot lap trying to warm those medium tyres up. Very easy to keep them too cold, especially as you're going for an outlap. You don't put enough heat and enough pressure into them, and they're quite easy to not warm them up enough. As I've been speaking, Tintoretto's gone at second fastest with a 1:11.3. Not bad at all. I'd be quite happy with that, and I think that's definitely a time to retire on. Don't want to be wasting the tyre, especially the one you're going to be starting on too much, just in case doesn't come an early safety car and you have to stick on them for as long as possible. Got David Bauer coming round. Looks like he's going to try and set another lap time. No, he dies into the pits. DRS open going into the pits. Bit of a brave strategy, but we've seen it done. Pawlowski comes across the line as he starts a hot lap round Tarzan, which I think is probably my favourite named corner in the entirety of F1. And he's onto his flying lap. Tightest banking in the track on that left-hander, probably 19 or 20 degrees, depends where you measure it. But he's managed to absolutely get through there with no issues. Into Sector 2, round the long sweeping right-hander, keeping it well planted on the track. Seems to be tyres everywhere from other drivers that have just lost it, but fortunately, I think they are the one thing in this lobby that will be ghosting. So there will be no collisions with stray tyres, shall we say. Here we go then, Pawlowski heading into 13 and 14 as he comes round. He's just run wide. I think he's the first driver that we've at least seen on camera to run wide there into in between 13 and 14. So he will be having to go again for another hot lap. He seems to be doing alright. That was a 1:12.9. So that would have put him in P9. Obviously just above Optic and Aaron Carey, who Aaron Carey crashed out with a fantastic lap time, and Optic that has retired as well. Believe as long as he sets a lap time, he will be clear and safe to go through here. As long as it's above a 1:18, he should be safe. So just needs to get it and keep it clean. Maybe if he has to come off the accelerator a little bit coming into the final part of Sector 3. Ray just diving into the pits there as well. Probably happy with their time, or just not happy with their setup for the soft tyre. Maybe just taking it on a bit of a feeler, just to see how those soft tyres are doing. Ready for Q3. Here we go then, as Pawlowski comes round into 13 and 14 again, hopefully off the power a little bit. There we go, keeps it nice and clean. Round the long sweeping 14 and along that back straight. This is going to be a fairly decent lap time, 1:12.4, so he's gone 4/10 up on what he was on that last lap that he invalidated, and I'd be probably quite happy with that. Again, we're getting to the tail end of qualifying, and it seems to be a fair few drivers have retired. We've got about 3 and 2 in the pits now that haven't retired just yet. Ray's had enough. I think they're safely through, so no need to worry. And we'll just wait now for Pawlowski to head back into the pits. Manages to invalidate his lap time on the way back to the pits, but no concerns. This will not be a timed lap, it's just on his way back. Hello to those of you that have just started watching. If you do have a comment, please feel free to drop it. I am checking them this week, and it is just me commentating. My co-commentator Feldman has been called away on other duties. Please do say hello. It's nice to interact with you guys and see how everyone's doing on this fine, well, evening for myself, but afternoon if you are situated in the US. Taking an unusual route round 14 there. He is doing a Valtteri Bottas and just cutting some grass there. Ironically, in that stunning Alfa Romeo, where Bottas is destined to go next season. So, will we see the Alfa Romeo lawnmower returning for us next season? That's a bit of a mouthful to say. I think you should try saying that. It's not as easy as it sounds. Normally our timer on screen here is a little bit quicker than that of those in the session, so don't believe everything you're watching. It will probably be about a minute quicker than what is on the driver's screens, but I think Pawlowski will be retiring here. No need for him to go out, no need for him to improve. I've had Villeneuve come into the comments to say hello, just telling me I'm doing a good job. I would say the same for your driving, but you've had an unfortunate crash out of Q1, so all the best, bro, for the race. Just do a little bit of first to last challenge and see how it goes. But here we go then. This is your standings for Q2. We have had 5 drivers knocked out, those being Aaron Carey, Optic, Swiss Cheese, Nanda, and QC Alex. I think 3 or 4 of those unlucky crashes, and I think most of them unlucky crashes, and potentially Optic I think might have just called it a day, but no concerns. Just going to have a quick second away just as we head into Q3 here. Just need to fill up on some drink. I underestimated how thirsty you get doing commentating. So here we go then, back into Q3. We've had a retirement already, sinking ships. I wonder if that was a Q3 ban or if he's just going to stick with how he did. I think we did discuss this earlier. Potentially someone did have a Q3 ban. No, the only qualifying ban that we had here was obviously Swiss Cheese for a full quali ban, so nothing further than that, and no complaints as of yet. Just checking back in the comments, we're going to go on board with Assassin. He is the first driver out as well. Back into the comments of the stream. Villeneuve got blocked on his fast lap and then lost control. That is unfortunate. It happens to the best of us, but it's only up from here. And obviously, you know, I'm sure you can pull through in the race. On board with Assassin then, one of the top kind of 30 drivers in the world on PlayStation, so expecting nothing less than an absolute flying lap from this man. potentially going out on used rubber just to get a feel and get a banker lap in there, just in case something goes wrong on his main lap. All but 2 drivers are out for a hot lap here. I don't blame them. I think I'd be doing the same. Just get a banker lap in and then do that final push for the last few minutes to go. Just let that track warm up just a little bit for the final run and just push then. But here we go, round the final corner. Let's get the everything back up just so you can see alongside with me what is going on with the car. There we go, 1:10.4. That's not going to be too bad for him, but I think he's going to want to go faster than that. But not a bad time to be laying down there. Had someone into the wall. That looks like Lucifer taking another drifting lesson again. Ooh, managed just to keep his right front there. Doesn't seem to be Lucifer's day here so far. He has been kind of all over the track. I wonder if that's just something to do with his setup. He's not got it quite right. Or maybe it's something to do with this year's Ferrari. So some lap times coming in. You've got Tintoretto, who's only about a 10th off Bassassin here. Not too bad. We're going to jump aboard with Warriors as he comes along the back straight. It's a 1:11.068. Not too bad there at all. Yeah, the rest of the drivers all in the pits that haven't set a lap time so far. So I wonder if they know something I don't, or if they're just waiting for their moment of opportunity. There we go, Bassassin into the pits, definitely happy with that lap time that he's set. We're going to jump on board with David Bauer here. Comes around, wanting to take another shot with less fuel on board, but it doesn't improve, about a second and a half down on his time. Tintoretto diving into the pits as well. I believe he invalidated his lap, and we've got Warriors also invalidating their lap. So not much going on track right now. I think David might be going for another lap here. Potentially just taking that lap before this just to recharge that battery a little bit. Just before he goes for another hot lap, because that battery is now on a hot lap. You can see it percentage going down as he's going along the straights. So he's using all of the battery available into the turns. And nice and smooth around there. That beautiful Red Bull livery that we mentioned last week. I don't think you can beat it for, well, maybe the Golf livery. But it's definitely one of my personal favourites in the last few seasons. Lucifer's headed out for his out lap now. We'll jump on board with him once we've seen what David can put in for a lap time. Probably around 13 and 14. About 80% power coming out of 13. That's probably about right. You don't want to lose that back end or invalidate. He's probably going into the pits. I think he's not going to improve, so he's just going to kind of reset and go again. So on board with Lucifer now, the only driver on the track. Not sure if that's an advantage or a disadvantage, because the track will probably be cooling down a little bit by the time he heads out. Heading along the back straight, 190 mile an hour as he crosses the start-finish straight into Tarzan. Keeps it nice and tight through there. Into 2 and 3 here. It's whether he can keep that back end planted as he goes through this tight left-hander and up the hill. Seems to be doing alright, nice and smooth on the power. And along that kind of back windy section of the track, which has this lovely camera angle just there. Personal favourite of mine. Yeah, around that tight left-hander now. He's got that DRS wide open, trying to get as much speed out of the car as he possibly can. Into this tight bit, avoiding that curb on the inside, which he's done quite well, and laying the power down just enough not to spin out. Now here we go. Henny Master 13 and 14 like he didn't do last time. Seems to be pretty smooth through that one and through 14 as well. Around that backside, using all of the track, DRS open as he comes back across the line. It's going to be about 109 mile an hour, and he's done a 1:11.8. Not bad, but I think he'll definitely want to be going faster than that. next time around. Who else we got out on a lap? We've got both Red Bulls out on a lap by the look of it. It is David that's going to be leading his teammate out here. I wonder if there's going to be any strategy, but it looks like they're both just going for it by themselves. David coming into No Name and then 14 as well. Can he just keep it planted? Has he got the tyres hot enough to set a good lap time here? We've got a yellow flag. Is that Ray Ray? Ray Ray's taking a little bit of a spin here. Nothing serious, but won't be too happy with that. Warrior's just getting past Lucifer on their outlap there. We'll jump back on board with David here. Going around that tight left hand, just watch the power down. He's done that quite nicely, kept it nice and tight. Absolutely no problems for the Red Bull driver there. We've got another yellow flag. Is that Warrior's taking a spin, or is that just Lucifer getting out of the way? Might be a bit of both. Here we go then, into the mid sector 2, which is a really nice flowing part of the track. Switch to left-hander. Ooh, on the curb a little bit, his back end steps out, but it's not a major problem. But I think he will be backing off there. Not going to be happy with that back end stepping out. Ray Ray is going rather slow here for an outlap. I wonder if they're going to go for a double outlap. Yeah, it looks like they're still trying to... Oh, they've gone purple in sector 1. But they also are causing yellow flags, so I wonder if they're just trying to warm up their tyres for a second outlap. Because that's normally what we do. You want to get that fuel load as low as possible for your second run. We've got Assassin heading out now for his lap. This will be a one to watch because that will be a killer time that he's about to put down as Poloski comes across the line to start his only hot lap of this session. By the look of it, David Bauer didn't improve. I think that little spin just in the mid sector 2 just uneased him a little bit, and is enough to throw you off sometimes if you're trying to go for a really hot lap. But you might have just set a purple sector 1, so this will be an interesting lap to watch. He's being chased by Assassin, not someone I'd want to have behind me. So that could be a good incentive to just get a move on. Yellow flags were for Lucifer doing his in-lap. I thought so. Worth just a double check there though. As he leaves, as he retires from the session, he might be happy, or he might just doesn't think he could go faster. Managed to get my words mixed up there, but we'll see what happens. David coming round those final 2 turns now. Opens the DRS up. Is he going to go faster? Yes, he goes 1:11.1. There's an improvement of about 8 tenths. So not bad at all. I'd definitely be happy with that. Going to stick on board with Assassin here, see what kind of magic he's going to come up with. Got a yellow flag. I think that might be Warriors, who's had a bit of a spin or an in-lap. Oh, he's on his outlap, just getting out of the way of some other people. Very kind of him, as you do as professional courtesy. Assassin, as expected, has set a purple sector 1. Warrior's going slow, but nothing worrying. Probably just prepping himself. That Burton who's going to had a little bit of a spin round turns 2 and 3. Assassin with a purple sector 2 as well. He's going to be caught up here by David Bauer a little bit. Hopefully David will get out of the way of this lap, or if he's just going to try and set his own one. Round turn 14, DRS is wide open, coming along that back straight. What's he going to do? A 1:10.4, so he gets about 10 quicker. I'd still say that's beatable. Tintoretto is only about 2 tenths off him here, but he is going slower on this this potential hot lap with time running out. He sets a purple sector 2, but he's gone slower onto the gravel a little bit, so he's probably a little bit concerned. Oh, Burton into the wall heavily at turn 13 there. I don't fully know what's happened, just caught it as it happened. But it looks like he's just lost it coming through No Name. We'll jump on board with Warriors, so you might get a good view of it. And as usual, the camera doesn't do well at picking up anything. We'll go on board with Ray. See if we can get TV pod view. Looks like they might have had a little bit of a spin. They've just got on that grass there and up the hill. Looks a bit of an unusual crash, but we'll just see what happens for now. Warriors has now jumped into P2 here with a 1:10.5, just going about 200ths quicker than Tintoretto, who's gone into that pit lane. We've got just Passassin and just Warriors out. Warriors has just finished his time now. Looks like he might still be going, but there we go. Passassin retires as we finish Q3. So there we go then. That is your top 9 for Q3 here. We got Passassin on pole, as probably was to be expected, but Warriors coming out of nowhere with a 1:10.5 to secure that P2 spot. Excellent qualifying from him, as well as Tintoretto, one of our top 3 drivers from Austria last weekend. David Bauer brings up 4th, Poloski in 5th, Seaburton 91 in 6th. Lucifer, Ray and Sinking Ships bring up the rear of this 9-man Q3. So here we go then for the formation lap of the Dutch Grand Prix. For those of you that have just joined us, or if you've been here since the start, yes, this is still the Prospects eRacing League. This is a PlayStation F1 League in partnership with Sports Illustrated, and we are here for round 3 of the America's Tier 1 division this week at the Dutch Grand Prix. The British driver Jim Clark holds the record for the most victories here with a total of 4, whereas Ferrari, as a collective, holds 9 as a constructor. Only one Ferrari in the top 9 here, or in the complete pack here, so it will be interesting to see if they can get another victory under their belt. 14 turns in just over 2.6 miles is what faces the drivers today in a beautiful 36-lap race in some absolutely gorgeous weather. A mix of twists and turns which are all fairly relaxed until the drivers hit the massive 18-degree banked turn to finish off a lap. Plenty of places to make a mistake, but also plenty of places to overtake. Just running you through the field here, we've got Passassin starting on pole, just as we saw a minute ago. And obviously we've got Villeneuve, who potentially could be a championship contender, just starting from the back there after that unfortunate spin in qualifying. Some interesting results in qualifying, not something you'd be too disappointed about, but something that you'd be watching. Projected pit strategies just appearing at the bottom of your screen there. I think it's definitely going to be a medium to hard sort of race if you're trying to keep an eye on how things go. Got a mix of soft and medium tyre runners here. We've got PRL Optic, who is deciding to start on the hard tyres. It'll be interesting to watch how he does here, but definitely something to keep an eye on. Penalties will be an interesting one here as well. Lots of places just to accidentally lose one, but we will watch how we go here for the start. Here we go then. The Dutch Grand Prix, Season 4 of the Prospects eRacing League. We've got 5 lights, we've got the glitch, and they're away fairly quickly here as they come along that long straight into Turn 1 or Tarzan. All fairly clean through there. A couple of drivers running wide onto the gravel, But that's what they have to watch out for on this track. There's a lot of gravel and runoff, so you've got to be very careful with where you go. We've got Aaron Carey making up a couple of positions already. Does alright, keeps it very clean through there. And QC Alex seems to be dropping back from the field a little bit. Nothing too concerned. The two Williams are having a little bit of a battle in the back here. Don't collect each other, guys. Just be nice and careful. We do need those Williams points. Jump back up to the front. Just watch as they come through that right hand of sector 2, may I say. All fairly clean so far, but no one really watching to put an overtake. Swiss Cheese might be going down the inside here. And it looks like Ray Ray's kind of led him wide. He's on that softer tyre with the ERS boost now, coming along the straight. Will he make it stick? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to, but he's going to just cut off by Ray Ray a little bit. But all fair racing. Here we go into that. Coming around turns 13 and 14 now, all fairly clean. Just don't want to be on that ERS too early because it does have a tendency to throw you out. And here we go. Ray Ray trying to defend. Oh, there's been a collision. Ray Ray's out. Oh, that's going to be an interesting one. That is unfortunate for them there. Trying to go down the inside a little bit and just made contact. But like I said, so easy just to spin out. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't think it's going to be anything more than that. We have got a virtual safety car, so the drivers have to slow down to a delta now. Do not exceed that. If you do, you will be getting a drive-through penalty. And on such a track like Circuit Zandvoort, it won't be in your favour. There we go, the pit strategy is appearing on your screen again. Just while we've got the safety car up. Assassin still leads. Tintoretto's managed to get off the position into P2 with Warren stopping back. David Bauer holding that P4. And a fair few changes at the back. Villeneuve's managed to make a position, and as we go green, Assassin's managed to get a good jump on Tintoretto here, almost gaining about half a second there. Not too bad. There's a few changes at the back. Just watch as they come into here. Seabird trying to kind of go down the inside, doesn't think it's going to make contact with make contact with Swiss Cheese here. Nothing too serious, just a little bit of a spin. Just watching them come around turn 40 with a lovely helicopter camera view. DRS has been enabled. Oh, a little bit of a shaky one from Seaburton 91 there. Could have ended very spectacularly, such as Indianapolis in 2005, if anyone remembers that, with the carnage that happened with a lot of cars going into the wall. It's turn 3 here then, as they're up the hill, all keeping it nice and tight and clean. Seems to be a bit of a pack separating. The front 3 have kind of separated from themselves a bit, and nothing too concerning. Then we've got the group here, or shall we call them the secondary pack, all just playing catch up. Everyone's fairly close. I think Sinking Chips might have had a little bit of a spin back there, but nothing too concerning. I think PRL Optic might be wanting to make a move here with the DRS. He's going to open that up, and the ERS boost as well. But unfortunately, I think a bit of a DRS train makes it a little bit of impossibility around there. But Raphael might have looked for a dive there, but I don't think it was anything that was going to pay off anytime soon. Go around to watch what drivers do as they come through turn 13. We just don't want to be losing it through there. Assassin sets the fastest lap. Here we go. The Williams on the Williams. This could be a good overtake if he's going to be able to make it stick. There's a bit of an overtake happening up here. Poloski having to get round Aaron Carey there, but will they hold it? Will they keep it clean? That's the important question. Leave room for each other, guys. As they do so, Optic has a little bit of a look on those hard tyres. He's doing really well just to stay in there. He's going to go for the long stint here, I think, and that could pay off for him. Potentially a hard to soft strategy here. Definitely something he'll be watching with ease, especially safety cars and VSCs. Right on the tail of Aaron Carey though, who doesn't seem to have found a grip yet, but nothing too concerning. We'll be watching them as they come along into this DRS zone here. He's going to try and make a move stick, but again that DRS train proving so powerful for the car in front of him. Aaron probably had a look up Poloski, but nothing too serious. Lucifer's also now on the back of that train, but we'll stick on board with these guys because there's about 4 of them here. Aaron's still running with that no helmet glitch. on the ERS a little bit as he comes around the banky, but trying not to spin out too much, and that DRS wide open. He's probably going to try and make a move here on Belowski. He's got so much more straight line speed, and he's going to make it stick. We've had someone lose it a little bit. I think that's Nanda, had a little bit of a spin coming out of 14. But again, nothing too worrying. We'll jump back on board with Belowski and Optic, who are all in a bit of a train. Oh, Aaron Kerry going quite slowly around turn 3 there, using all that ERS to his advantage to make sure that he doesn't lose out on a position. Belowski just makes, I think, the defence on Optic stick, but Optic is right on Belowski's ass. He's going to do well to defend against him along, especially that back straight, and more importantly the home straight, which is really quite a long time to defend if you've got no DRS yourself. Optic has a look down the inside. Ooh. He's got that DRS open on the hard tyre. He's going to go for the inside. I don't think he's going to try though. Not worth sticking your nose in if you're going to lose a position overall. Excuse me. Had a little bit of spin. It looks like Nanda's had another little bit. Again, managed to keep that front wing planted on his car, so no major issues for him. I think he's just not happy with the setup of the car. Doesn't seem too stable for him. Jump back on board with Assassin. Oh, Optics just made the move past. Coming along that DRS straight, as I was saying, it's just so powerful along there. But now he's got a bit of a job to do with and clear that 1 second. Nanda's gone off onto the gravel. Really not happy with his setup here. He doesn't seem to find a stable setup. And he is now just sat in the middle of the track. Don't quite know what's going on with him. I think he's just trying to sort out whatever issue he might be having. He's got no front wing. He's had a bad crash that time, but he's gonna go into the pits here, try and get that sorted out. Doesn't seem to be having the best of time, but hopefully he gets whatever issues he's having sorted out. Driver's got to be really careful here. VSC, it's a full safety car now. It has been upgraded, so I wonder if this will be the time for those soft runners, especially David and potentially Lucifer and Seaburton, all try and change onto the medium tyre here, or even go onto the hard tyre till the end. It'll be something they'll be considering because it'll be essentially a free pit stop for them. So we'll jump aboard with David and see what he does. He's going to stay out by the look of it. Come back and see what some of the other soft runners are doing there. They're all pitting. Optic on the hard tyre is pitting. I wonder what he's going to do here. He's going onto the soft tyre. Interesting strategy from him here. He could have stayed out, but I wonder if the hard tyre just wasn't working. He might switch up to a 2-stop race, probably the soft to the medium potentially. If he can go 10 laps on that on the soft tyre, then he might be able to make it to the end on the medium. This does give a good chance for Nanda now to catch up. Doesn't mean he isn't lapped, so he'll be quite happy about that, just as the field. Group up behind the safety car. It's especially important for those who have underfueled for the race in anticipation of a safety car, because they will be on that low fuel mode now, just trying to reclaim some of the fuel that they don't want to be using, as they are following such a beautiful Aston Martin safety car that we've had added to the game for this year. Pretty much all the drivers have now bunched up behind the safety car, just waiting for Nanda, who's gone onto the hard tyre, to catch up. He's now the only driver on the hard tyre. Will be interesting to see if he can get that up to temperature quick enough for a safety car restart here. And there'll be definitely another lap behind this safety car now. Swiss Cheese pits. Bit of an interesting tactic there, but I think he's going to try and get those soft tyres off. Yep, there we go. He puts the mediums on. Might have been a lap too late because he's lost a lot of positions now. So I wonder if it's something that only occurred to him just as he's gone round this lap. had a comment on the YouTube stream. Optic looks great on those hards. He really did. It's a shame. I think he swapped off to the soft tyre. He was popping off on the hard tyre, and will be interesting to see what sort of pace he has in the on the soft tyre. He probably will be going quicker enough. I reckon he'll be able to jump those, especially on the 7-lap-old soft tyre. He'll be a lot quicker than most of them. But he is also banking on hopefully getting another free stop, but hopefully not having another safety car. Here we go then. It looks like the safety car is in this lap. Someone spun behind the safety car. That is Poloski. He's done a George Russell. If anyone remembers that, I think back in last season, he did just drop that rear end on the safety car. He's got to be careful now because those rear tyres are going to be lit up. But here we go. Back and forth with Plaston. He's got a good jump there from Tintoretto. He's already made about 6/10 up as he comes along that back straight. Just going to jump back and make sure there's no major incidents. All nice and smooth under the safety car restart. Tintoretto gets that position back, but Warriors is wanting it back so desperately as they're coming through sector 1. Had a bit of a spin, I think. Yep, sinking ships is round, and I think who pitted? Poloski pitted. I think he's might have broken his front wing there, so he's gone onto the hards as well, just to make sure that he can get to the end of the race without having to make another stop. The two Williams doing well up in 7th and 8th. We'll just go on to who's just gone to position changes to see who has done the best here. So yeah, Raphael up 8 positions, QC Alex up 6. So yeah, both Williams doing well. Villeneuve up 7 positions, now potentially up 8. Or that might be the 7th that he just got. But either way, there's been a collision between Swiss Cheese and Lucifer. I think the stewards will get a report about that later. Nothing we didn't see on camera, unfortunately, though. Those two without a front wing, so they will be pitting. Quite unfortunate for them because they're both on new medium tyres, so they'll be a bit disgruntled about that. But nothing they can do. We got 2 others pitting. Chris Seaburton and Raphael both pitting here. They're both on very old soft tyres, so they're wanting to get them off for a fresh pair of rubber. I think David must be considering the same. We've got a safety car again. Don't quite know what happened. I wonder if that's for the collision with Swiss Cheese and Lucifer, but probably working a little bit in their favour. If I was David right now, I'd be thinking about definitely getting into a pit stop here and getting those soft tyres off. Potentially for either a set of mediums to go for the one stop, because you could do 26 laps on one set of mediums, or going on to the hards if you don't feel confident about your tyre management. Could be unlucky here because they've actually caught the safety car before he got a chance to pit, so it's whether he wants to lose a fair few positions or if he's comfortable on the soft tyre that he is on, if it's got enough percentage left in it to make it run a few more laps to put a bit of a gap. At the back of the field, Swiss Cheese and Lucifer just playing catch up here to the safety car, as is Poloski after that spin early on the safety car, and Raphael and Seaburton, who both pitted as well, just catching back up nicely. Seaburton gone onto the hard tyre, which is interesting. I think they both started on the medium tyre, so they've got to either go onto the hards or onto the softs, and I think Chris Burton or Seaburton wants to see out the race without any other pit stops, and Raphael, I think he wants to stick with potentially a 2-stop strategy here. There we go. I think we've got all the drivers now lined up behind the safety car. Hopefully it will be in this lap. Knowing the game and knowing Codemasters, there's always potential for another lap just for safety, because, you know, safety car. Look at some pits, see if we can see if anyone's stopped. Yes. Stopped, so the top 6 are yet to stop. Villeneuve's come in from last place up to 6th, obviously without a stop, but I think that's definitely impressive. Aaron Carey and Sinking Ships both yet to stop. And Lucifer and Swiss Cheese, I think I previously said, probably on the, well, on 2 stops now, will probably be on a 3-stop strategy now, just to due to previous incidents. Drivers will be itching a bit. There we go. Safety car in this lap, so Assassin is going to slow right down as we head into Sector 3 here. Warm those tyres up. That's what the weaving's for. Just get some load into the tyres, which will allow you to get heat into them. Tintorello sitting fairly close to the backside of Assassin, but not necessarily a bad thing as long as they can keep it all clean. Someone using Villeneuve's got ERS on. I wonder if it's stuck on. I know that's a glitch that potentially happens sometimes on this, or if he's just forgotten to turn it off. There's been a collision at the back there. Who's just lost a front wing? That is 4 drivers all having a collision just due to everyone slowing down. We unfortunately them, and they are the first penalties of the afternoon. Tintorello is still weaving a little bit. I wonder if that's just a bit of lag on my part. Optic now on the soft tyre, who has just been released. He is just flying through the pack now, trying to gain every position that he can. Raphael and Chris both in the pits there. Villeneuve's retired. That's got to be a crash. And yeah, he's come off at turn 3 there. That's going to be unfortunate for him. We have got a yellow flag. Hopefully not another safety car. And the driver's just going through. I think he's binned it in the same place that he binned it in qualifying. He's going to be quite mad at himself for that one. I know that one for sure, as he was probably in a good position to make up some time. Just look for Raphael. Yeah, he's just lost it on the top of that banking there. I'm sure we'll probably get a comment from him in a minute explaining what's happened there. See, Burton's also just binned it. He's just lost it a bit randomly there. Not sure how he's lost it, but that's another driver down to the twists and turns of the Dutch Grand Prix. I was saying in my pre-race intro that it's a lot of places to lose it, a lot of places for mistakes. And we've just seen 2 in a very short amount of time here. No safety car, I think just because it's been not long enough since the previous one, because that's how the game works. So we'll just be seeing some drivers go through. Pulowski pits, I think he must have lost a bit of a front wing there. Potentially from the early collision, or might be something to do with Villeneuve's collision, potentially. And we just got Raphael coming around that back section. He must have got caught up in another collision as well. Aaron Carey is right on the back of Nanda here. He might look for a move as we head into that long straight on Sector 2. We've got another yellow flag. It looks like Swiss Cheese has had a bit of a spin. Yeah, just on those hard tyres. I wonder if he's not warmed them up enough just so that he can get it. Aaron Carey, as I was saying, get that move done. DRS not yet enabled because the safety car period just needs 3 laps back. Optic looking very strong here with David Bauer just in front. He's on 12 lap old softs. He's going to be going for that 1-stop strategy, I feel, but he's going to be paying the price in tyre wear. Going to be so much quicker along that main straight, and yeah, just pulls out the way and lets him through a little bit. Another yellow flag. I think Swiss Cheese had another little bit of a spin. He's not doing too well on those hards. Just don't seem to be doing it for him today. Close. Got Sinking Ships up the arse of Nanda here. It doesn't look dangerous. QC fairly close to David Bauer here, who seems to be kind of hemorrhaging positions a little bit. I think just potentially a lack of grip there might be damaging him as he comes round to the right-hander. Just wonder how much speed QC can gain as an advantage heading into the DRS zone. It might be enough just to get him past on those same same age tyres, but obviously the medium just coming into effect. Swiss Cheese gets a speeding penalty as he pulls into the pits to retire. Not that that would concern him as he's retired. Raphael stops for the hard tyre. I think he's probably now going to try and go to the end. Probably not a bad shout. Optic coming around this back straight here. He's going to be on the back of Warriors, who's going into the door. It looks like he's going into the pit, but just fakes it a little bit. He's got the DRS. He's going to go to the outside. Can he make a move, stick round the outside here? It's going to be very tight, but he's made it stick absolutely beautifully. QC Alex has also got past David Bauer here. That's another fantastic move. I said it was going to happen. I think David on those soft tyres is just going to be hemorrhaging positions here. Nanda still looking a bit of a threat to Aaron, but not anything major. Warren's coming back at Optic. He wants that position back badly, but I don't think he's going to get it on those harder tyres. Assassin pulling away a fair advantage here. He's now 2.5 seconds from the car behind him, managing those medium tyres absolutely beautifully. Everyone's kind of spreading out a little bit now just after that safety car period. Warriors is coming back through that DRS zone, but it's not going to be enough. We'll definitely keep an eye on him as they head onto that home straight now. So I think he might just have enough pace. The DRS here along that back straight is very strong, especially you've got the speed coming out of turns 13 and 14. He's got the ERS on early. He's got to make sure that he keeps planted, otherwise he might find himself in the wall. But he's going to keep it nice and planted. He's got that DRS open. He's got the ERS ready if he needs it, but he just doesn't have enough space to make it work. Raphael's got to be careful here, or he's going to fall victim to Assassin lapping him as he gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Not a bad time. Raphael retires. He's also just crashed out. Yeah, quite easily done through there, and that has brought out the second safety car, or third safety car of the race in 16 laps. If you want a clean race, then don't come here today, folks, because we have had 3 safety cars in 16 laps. We've had 5 drivers retire. I think that's just summed up what is going on in this race. Now, if I'm David, I am definitely going into the pits to get those soft tyres off, get on some mediums, because you've now got 20 laps left. You can do 20 laps on the medium compound, especially if you've just done 15 laps on the softs. We'll watch who pits here. It'll be interesting. I wonder if the medium runners might go in. There we go. Assassin goes in. He's the first medium driver to pit. Optic also pits. What is he? He just can't seem to decide a tyre to stay on here. David Bauer pits finally to get those soft tyres off. Is there only going to be double stacking here? Because it looks like potentially might happen. Doesn't look like it. Looks like they've all got through fairly cleanly. So Optic goes on to those medium tyres. I think he now wants to just not stop. He's done well. He's not lost many positions. And he's going to just make it stick. Assassin down in 4th onto the soft tyre. Is he going to make it last 20 laps? I think he's hoping that the safety car might be out for a couple laps just because everyone's pitted. And that might allow him to extend it. Nanda has binned it onto safety car. What has happened there? We'll see as he comes round. He's lost it on the outside of turn 4 or 5 there. That's going to be absolutely gutting for Nanda, who was doing so well up in P2. And really unfortunate for him on the hards. Maybe the temperatures just got out the tyres, but we'll just see what happened. I'm sure we'll see from other drivers' perspective. Unfortunate to lose it there, but any one of these turns is so easy to lose it on. Very close borders for most of the track here, and just enough to send you into one. The gravel doesn't do much to help. If anything, you seem to skip over it in this game. So something definitely to watch out for there. Tintoretto is sticking on high revs, potentially trying to burn off some excess fuel there. I think a lot of drivers, even though they've underfueled, they might be running excess fuel. Lucifer's diving into the pits here. I think he's now going to try and... I think he might have left it a lap too late, but he's going to try and get some fresh rubber on. He's going for another pair of mediums by the look of it. And I'm hoping they will see him through to the end. Sinking Ship's also in for those medium tyres as well. But Tintoretto is the only driver, I think, yet to stop. stops. Only driver yet to stop. So is he going to Sergio Perez us? Is he going to try and stay for as many laps as possible on those medium tyres? It'll be interesting to see just how many laps he can do and whether there'll be another safety car to help him out. Assassin sat right behind him in P2 on brand new softs, so he's going to be wanting to, or itching at the bit to try and jump him as soon as that safety car comes into the pit lane. Variety of tyres. We've got two people on the hard tyre. We've got QC Alex and we've got Aaron Carey. I think both have done 2 stops, if I'm correct. No, both have done 1 stop. Potentially started on those medium tyres so they couldn't switch to the hard and didn't think the soft would last long enough, as we announced that the safety car is coming in this lap. Tintoretto, I think, is going to try and back up the field as much as he can here. He'll want to try and get a jump on Assassin. I think that's definitely what I want to do. Try and get out the way or get a gap cleared to Assassin. Here we go then. He tried to get a jump, but it's not worked as well as he can. He is on 17 lap old hards as Assassin is going for a move here straight off the bat. Yeah, it's fully open, go around the outside of the Haas. Can he make it stick? Not this time. Ooh, he had a look, but it's not going to work. Everyone else fairly close, but I'm going to stick on board here because it won't be long before Assassin gets in front of Tintoretto there. He's got the ERS open again as he comes through this lovely winding section of the track. He's going to try and go around the outside of that turn. Oh, he's off the grass, onto the grass rather, but he's made it survive. Might just wait for the long straight before he goes for it. Everyone else being fairly disciplined as they come around, sinking ships, having a little bit of a nosy, but nothing to write home about again. As we've got Tintoretto just surviving in front of Assassin and Optic here, who are both chomping at the bit to get in front of him. Got to be nice and clean through this section. Like I said, coming off, oh, bit of a squirrely back, coming down into No Name and turn 14. He's going to have a look down the inside with Assassin, or he might just try and do the old fakeroo and send it around the outside, and he's just gone around the outside with so much more speed as Tintoretto comes into the pit lane. He's had enough of the mediums, can't make them last, so that puts everyone up a position. Assassin's already a second clear of Warriors here, so not going to have to worry about whether he's in DRS range or not. But I think Warriors is going to be worried with Optic behind him on the medium tyre, who's already shown on the harder compounds he is a force to be reckoned with. You see Alex holding up on the hard tyre. I think he's going to be trying to just survive in that mid-pack there and not drop too many positions in the 16 laps we've got remaining. Assassin setting purple sector 1 times. I think it was not unlikely. I think we're going to see the fastest lap from Assassin here as Optic and Warriors are having a bit of a battle. Warriors managed just to hold it. It's whether who's got the greater straight line speed. Optic seemed a bit squirrely coming out of that turn there, so might not have made full advantage of his straight line speed there. But he's going to try and make it stick as they come round through the final sector. We'll probably try and have another look coming around here. Warrior sticking to that right hand side of the track, just trying to avoid anyone using the inside because that's such a powerful line. There we go, DRS enabled for lap 21 of this Grand Prix for the 3rd time today, or 3rd or 4th time shall I say today. And Warriors is now going to be quaking a little bit. He's got Optic behind him who's got such a speed on the harder compound tyres, especially with the DRS advantage, which is shown to be a lot quicker on this track. Tintoretto has come out back out the pits last lap. He is 7 seconds behind 9th place, and he'll be wanting to make that back. It's whether he can make it last, but David's shown us that you can make those softs last about 15 or 16 laps, so it's definitely something that he'll be trying to do. Warriors turning on that ERS just to try and stay away from Optic behind him. Everyone is once again spreading out a little bit. We've got sinking chips getting close to Pavlovsky here, but not anything to be too concerned about. Just going to watch Optic here on this main straight. I think he's going to be quick enough with that DRS open that he might be able to make a move here. Warren's going to that inside again to try and defend it and almost break his slipstream. We've had a yellow flag somewhere, but I can't see what's quite going on. Doesn't look like anything major. Optic is right on the rear wing of Warren's here, going around the outside. Doesn't want to lose that rear end, which is so easily done around that part. But he's going to try it as we come into that nice winding section. Again, just being defended really well by Warriors. Just got this lovely rear view camera here as we watch Optic just right behind him. He goes wide. That could be just enough for Optic to get a look in. As he goes down the inside, he's going to have the outside line though for this left-hander, but he might try the old switcheroo. Warriors just goes slow enough to defend it. But with that rear wing open on Optic, he's going to be trying a move here sometime soon. Team Warriors is looking a little bit squirrely in his defence, so he might be just waiting for an opportunity to arise when it can. Watching coming now out of now, No Name into turn 14, round that 18-degree bank, and with the DRS open. He's a lot closer than he was last lap. Will he make it work? Onto the rear view here. Optic goes down the outside. Will he make it stick? He's just going to try. I don't think he has the pace on the harder tyre just to make it stick. That soft tyre just providing enough of an edge for Warriors to stay in front there. QC Alex is still kind of sitting behind them. No major concerns from him either. But it will be Optic and Warriors that are battling it out here for P2. They've got to be careful because it all could result in nothing. Oh, a little bit of a love tap there. Doesn't look like there's any damage on either car. Definitely no damage for Optic. Sinking Chips is right on the tail of Pavlovsky here as well. He tries to make a move, stick down, around the outside, keep it clean as he tucks in just for that left-hander. Really beautiful as I'm on board with them. Of course, Optic's got past Warriors as I'm not on their camera, but Warriors might have the DRS here. This could be something that he's going to be trying on the softer tyre. Optic moves over. Not sure if he's trying to defend or just trying to get out of the way. Says he's trying to break the slipstream, but he's going to hold that inside line just beautifully. Leaves him just enough room on that outside. And this is going to be some fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing that we're going to see through this lap if they can keep it clean. I think Alex, if I'm Alex, I'm sitting there waiting for something to happen between these two just to move up 2 positions. Because I think I can see a crash coming. That might just be a bit of commentator's curse that I'm talking, but we'll see what happens. Jump back and forth with these two guys in front. Assassin's now pulled a 6.2 second lead in just 3 laps, which is just insane. Stick on board with Optic and Warriors just for the next kind of couple of laps to see what goes on. Warriors a little bit squirrely and over the curbs there through kind of the entry of sector 3 there. But he will be wanting that position back as quick as he can. Aaron Carey right on the back of Pavlovsky here. Probably going to try and make a move down this rear home straight, shall I say. DRS is open, but he's in a bit of a DRS train, so it's not going to be as powerful as he wanted it to be. He might try and stick a move down. All thinks about a move down the inside, but can't see it happening. I don't think the hard tyres are going to be paying off for Aaron Carey here. They just don't have the pace advantage around here that he is wanting. Tries to look around the outside, nothing. Still Warriors and Optic battling it out here for P2. I think Warriors might have got away Optic might have got away just enough that he doesn't have to worry through the turns, but it's through that DRS zone where the speed advantage definitely comes into play, and you've got to watch himself. Here we go then, back into that DRS zone. On the onboard with Warriors, got the DRS open. Optics choosing to stick with the outside line. And Warriors is going to look down the inside. He's just not got enough straight line speed and not enough track to make that move stick. Unfortunately, Lucifer's looking very close to David Bauer as they're going to go wheel to wheel. Oh, there's been contact. Oh, there's been a crash. David Bauer has... Oh, that's going to be unfortunate for him. And that might result in the fourth safety car of the race, and it indeed has. Lucifer's now got no front wing. There's been an unfortunate collision there. And that could allow Optic and Warriors to just close up again. Got a yellow flag for Tintoretto for ignoring yellow flag, so I wonder if he overtook Lucifer and David by accident there. And just gained a penalty there, which would be unfortunate, but I've seen worse happen on this game, unfortunately. There we go. Assassin's 10.6 second lead is going to be reduced down to just about half a second here once they come round and bunch up with the safety car again. Lucifer seems to be going off the track again. I don't think he's going to be too happy with himself. He's going to be wanting to wish this day never happened, I feel. But there we go. We are 26 out of 36 laps through this race, and we have got 9 out of 16 drivers still standing. Nearly half the field have retired, but the rest is still going strong. Anyone that finishes from this point forward will be getting points, so that's something to just finish for if you want points in the championship, because it's still all to play for. You're only two rounds through, and Tintoretto gets a drive-through penalty there for speeding under the safety car. That's going to be unfortunate for him. There we go, the back view pit onto brand new softs, as does Assassin as well. And I think that's probably the right call. QC Alex, if he had a spare set of softs, I probably would have done the same, because there's only going to be 8 or so laps left of racing by the time we get going, and you want the softest tyre you can possibly have. Tintoretto's not going to be happy, because he's going to have to serve a drive-through when everyone is going to be driving at their fastest. So it'll be definitely interesting to watch this last 8 laps, so do not switch away. Warriors is deciding to stay out on the soft tyres, so he is hoping that he can make them last about 17 or 18 laps. Definitely a brave move, and something that I probably wouldn't personally be doing, but then hey, I'm not in the driver's seat for this race. QC Alex definitely sticking with the hard tyres. I wonder if either of those two will pit at the end of this lap and change their mind a little bit on what tyre they're going for, because it depends how good they are at defending, especially when you've got someone like Assassin directly behind you. We're going to have another lap of the safety car here as we just wait for Lucifer to catch up after that front wing change. Tintoretto has pitted, there we go. As I was saying, probably going to pit for a fresh set of softs if he can. Yeah, there we go. Serving a 5-second penalty by the look of it as well. Oh, not gone on the green light, or that might just be my lag a little bit. He comes out of that pit lane nice and cleanly. He can now catch up with the rest of the pack. Hasn't even fallen too far behind, just because the safety car can't exactly go quite fast around these tighter turns here due to its limited downforce. So the only driver now not on softs is QC Alex. He has decided to stick on the hard tyres and just go with it. He's been on them for 10 laps, so since that last safety car, and he's hoping that they will see him through to the end of this race now. Warriors deciding that 10 lap old softs will also see him through for the next 8 laps. And I think that will be probably 7 laps of full speed racing. Then again, in the 10 laps, we've probably only done about 8 or 9 laps of full speed racing, so they could be sitting on a fairly healthy percentage here, so definitely not something to rule out. Safety car's in this lap, here we go then. If you're watching in Warriors mirrors now, this is what you'd see, the entire field behind you, chomping at the bit, waiting to try and make a pass. I think if you're Assassin, this is who you This is what you're watching. You're watching two drivers in front of you that you are hoping to jump as quick as possible and not get caught up here. Optic the same. He sees the guy he was battling only 2 or 3 places in front of him, knowing that he can potentially get the jump, but Warrens is going to go at some point. He's holding them up for quite a time. He wants to get that jump. I'd probably go now. He's got a hard runner behind him who could hold up things. There we go, he goes. The entire field has to wait for that start-finish straight. I think Sassen's gone a little bit too early there. He's given the position back though, but that will impede him a little bit. He dives down the inside. Will he make the position stick? Yes, of course he will. Polowski also off place on Aaron Carey. Aaron Carey up in position on sinking ships. And now Sassen has been released to try and catch Warrens here. He's using all the ERS that he's just saved up during that safety car period. Everyone is going to be running heavy with fuel because they just have probably underfueled and then had enough safety cars just to probably start on 0 fuel and then just save it all up. QC Alex has dropped back 2 positions here. Both Optic and Assassin have got past him. I think that was unfortunate. He probably could have gone into the soft tyre if he could have, but he'll probably be watching this back later. And you know, you learn from your mistakes and see what happens, and that's what this league's all about. Warrens now being caught by Assassin through every turn here. Goes a little bit wide there. Nothing too concerning though, and he will just be watching his rear side as he comes in. Oh, he's spun it. Oh, that's a bad crash as well. Aaron Carey, I think, might have got caught up in that collision. Looks like he did. Yeah, he got a 5-second collision for a severe collision with Aaron Carey. That's going to be really horrendous there. Oh, bit of a shaky exit for Tintoretto. We said it might happen. Coming out of turn 14. And it definitely has happened. There's another yellow flag. Again, no safety car. I think it's just too early after the previous one, so it's just not going to happen. Assassin already putting in purple times. He's low on fuel and he's got the softest tyre on, and he's just going to be pulling away from Optic now, who is going to try everything in his power just to hold on to that time and try and get as close to him as possible. Alex now comes up another position due to that crash, so that puts him back into Q3, back into that podium contention. The question is, can he hold off Polowski for another 5 or 6 laps here? Here we go then, 16 drivers started. We're now only got half the field remaining. Warriors on brand new soft tyres, but he is 26 seconds behind the pack. Assassin putting a 1:11.4 in, and he is just flying here. DRS is enabled, so we'll be watching on board Polowski. He's probably the closest to anyone in the field right now. He's only about 6/10 off the hard runner of Alex in front of him. We've got 6 laps to go in this Dutch Grand Prix, and I don't think a single one of them has been, well, I don't think a single one of the 31 laps we've done so far have been boring. Not for me especially, and I hope not for you guys that have been watching along with me. He's just dropped back just a little bit too much there, potentially for DRS range. He got that activation zone as he comes into this left-hander, so I'll be trying everything to try and get into that time, but I think he's just too far off it. There's been a yellow flag in sector 3. I think that's Lucifer that might have spun. Yeah, it just seems to have... he was doing alright for the race, but he's probably just had a little bit of a spin. Back to this quali when he couldn't find a grip and couldn't find a setup for the car that he was happy with. But nothing too concerning. He's still well within the pack, but we have got a massive, massive gap. Sasson putting in a 1:11.3. He's gone a 10th quicker than he did last time round, and now has gained a 3-second advantage just on Optic. QC Alex doing well to get away from Polowski a little bit here, only kind of hundredths or thousandths at a time, but it's just enough to keep him outside of that DRS range there. Everyone else is splitting up quite nicely. They've got a lot of track to use to themselves. 8 drivers have got about 2.6 miles of track here. They pretty much could take about a third of a mile each and you'd all be fine. And have that personal area to yourself. All the COVID rules and stuff. Keep a distance from the car in front of you. Yeah, no one within a DRS zone at the moment, but we'll stick on board We'll go on board with Assassin as we watch him just do a lap. We are overtaking anytime soon, unless we see some things. We'll keep an eye on the map, and we just watch how Assassin does a lap at this track. We never got a full on board during qualifying, so it's probably a good time to make up for that. I haven't checked the YouTube comments in forever. We've got a comment from Arslan of Obsidian. Optic is trying to win this. I think he might be, but he has backed off just a little bit here. I'm not sure if that's Assassin just picked up the pace or Optic has realised that his tyres might not last the entire time going at the pace that he wants to go. Yeah, here just Assassin showing using every section of the track with precision. Using all the curves. We know how dangerous curves can be in this game, but he's using the ones that he wants to use and avoiding the ones that will spin you out very, very beautifully there. Onto that long back straight, just pulling more and more time from Optic in second place. I think Optic's quite happy now. He'll sit there, he'll take that second place as long as there's no mistakes from himself or anyone around him. Obviously it could all change in the drop of a hat, but no one's seen. Sinking Ships is kind of gaining on Pulowski a little bit, but I think that's just as he was going through the turns. Pulowski seems to have some straight line speed that just pulls him away just when he needs to go. Sinking Ships here, just keeping an eye on Pulowski, watching what's going to go on. Everyone's on pretty much the same age tyres, so their tyres aren't going to be a massive comparative difference. Warren's is on brand new tyres. He's trying to make up time after that earlier spinning collision, but I can't see him coming back. He'll sit there quite happily. He'll get the points that he'll get for 8th place. But I think as it stands, it will be Assassin coming home in about 3 laps time to get that victory. We'll just look at a position change here, see how people have got on. QC Alex coming up with 11 positions. I think he's done absolutely fantastic. He's done a one-stop race, the only one-stopper in this race so far. He's made those hard tyres last and he's defended it well. He's pulling away from Pulowski enough to not be an issue. Don't think there's any penalties either. No penalties. I think the people that had penalties either served them or have unfortunately not finished this race with us. But it looks like this could be the finishing grid in about 2 laps time. We've got 2 laps left to go. Unless someone pulls off something miraculous or has a little bit of a brain fog moment and spins, then this will be your finishing grid. Sinking Ships is still just pulling back at Pulowski enough. This could be enough time if he keeps this time difference. He's trying to get that time up. He's very low on ERS though. Both drivers very low on ERS. So coming into the final 2 laps. So it'll be interesting to see if that plays anything into it. Does there enough? He could just be within ERS range here. Doesn't look like he made it this time around, unfortunately. I think he's going to try and push as much as he can to try and get it for the home straight. That'll be where the difference all comes. Pulowski just taking it nice and easy around there. I think Sinking Ships is going to be in enough position here to make that DRS on. He's got that green bar coming up, which means that DRS is going to be wide open. And this will be the only thing for the final lap. We'll keep an eye on it, but we will go on board with Assassin as he comes around for that final lap. Almost a lap of honour at this point. He's 5.5 seconds up on second place. Sinking Ships gaining time more and more. I don't think it'll be anything serious at the moment. Just keep an eye on it, just in case one of them spins. Around this way. Oh, we've had a spin. That looks like Lucifer. Again, just going for a little bit of spin through turn 3. So easy just to drop the rear out there. Unfortunately, he's just gone into the wall. Yeah, rear tyres are just lit up. So he's got to be careful as he comes through there. We'll jump on board with Assassin then as he comes round to win the Dutch Grand Prix here. There we go. Fantastic race by him. And I must say by Optic as well, he's done an absolute solid race. And QC Alex, the only one stopper of that entire race, so well done to you, sir. Ploski coming in 4th, just sinking kit ships in 5th. Tintorello in 6th. Lucifer and Warriors having a little bit of a last-minute battle here along that back straight. Warriors doesn't just get DRS, but he might be making it up. I wonder if Lucifer's got a bit of front wing damage here, so Warriors could be taking that final 7th position there. I think just going to be using all DRS to try and keep him behind. All going to come down to 13, 14, and then yeah, there. Warriors just get past him. That wing damage just a little bit too much for Lucifer, as they both come across the line for 7th. And Lucifer manages to retire, but he will still get that 8th position just for completing enough of the race there. There we go. Codemasters driver of the day, QC Alex, making a one-stop work absolutely fantastically. And I think personally, I will say also that QC Alex is my driver of the day. Just on the podium here, seen Assassin pick up that trophy. Good dominating race by him. Nothing was out of the ordinary, and nothing would stop him today. So there we go. 16 drivers started this Dutch Grand Prix. 36 laps later, we only have 8 left. And there was a show of force on there today. Nothing could stop those in the finish. I want to thank you for joining me today. My name's been T-Mouse, and I hope you tune in tomorrow when we've got the Europe and the Americas Tier 2 races, also here at the Dutch Grand Prix. That's it. I'll see you later, and thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.